we have for that. So, and then discussing those things and what strategies they have used that were successful and what strategies I have used that have been successful or have not been successful, that has been super helpful because sometimes in education you're in this tiny little world and you feel like that's all that's happening, but then um, you realize that there are many other things happening and people are dealing with some similar issues. And I think this is the first time in our district, in education in general, we are all strapped for funding. And then how do I learn more? How do I know what's going on outside of my district when I'm not able to travel, when I'm not able to do those things? So I do this through, learning on my own, reading new materials, and then through feedback fundamentals has been amazing because all of us come from all over and we have those conversations. So since I can't go anywhere, then people come in here. It's getting together and having those discussions has been very helpful.
Okay. Can you talk again? So talk about the rounds now as about being a host of the instructional rounds first, and then just being a participant the second time.
Yeah, I wish I'd been a participant before I was a host because that would have been giving me a better idea of what it was about. But I think the most valuable thing it was really to look within our school as a team, the admin team. We got together and we started looking at all of the different programs of practice that we had. This was a new administrative team with a new principal and 3 new assistant principals. So we were trying to accomplish a lot and do a lot of things. So, but it really forced us to look at one issue that we were dealing with, one problem of practice, and then what that meant for us, and what kind of feedback we needed from the team that was going to come to see us. And then through that, then we presented that to them. They went into classrooms, looked at, watched, I guess, teachers, and then came back, and we had wonderful conversations in terms of not only feedback but just conversations about what they saw, what advice they would give. It was a very well developed, well led process in which I was with our instructor from the beginning to the end, so I always knew what was coming next. And even it took a lot of time to prepare, but it was very helpful for us because that experience is continuing to impact or affect or influence what we're doing today, even though it was 6 months ago. So it was definitely helpful.
Last,
and then as a
participant, yeah, that's right.
And we went to a different high school, and it was 6 through 12, I believe. And then just walking through and being a participant and seeing how they do things, not only how they do things, but how they set up their space. Not only looking at how they do things, but how they set up their space, how they welcome people. From the moment you walk in, you're looking and observing and feeling how that climate and culture that they have in that school. And then you go into classroom and you start looking whether that climate and culture that is reflected outside is also carried into the classroom. And then you have these conversations about what you saw. And then the administrators are incredibly open about what it is they're trying to accomplish. And then you give feedback. And this whole cycle is very powerful. It's kind of scary for a team to open up like that, but at the end of the day, you realize how helpful it was and how powerful it was to open your doors and open your school like that to a complete group of strangers. But at the end of the day, you're just talking and to each other. Somebody's calling. Okay.
All right, last. So if you were going to, so you have I'm an audience out here. Imagine you're on a website and you're talking to an audience of people who've clicked on this video. What would you want to tell them about feedback fundamentals? What would you want to tell them about rounds? So sell me on feedback fundamentals. Sell me on rounds.
I think that, like I said before, I think that as a leader, as a learner, it is imperative that we continue to grow, we continue to learn, we continue to participate, to collaborate. If we're expecting students to be 21st century learners, we ourselves have to be 21st century leaders. I think that's absolutely crucial. I think that feedback fundamentals gives you that arena, gives you that setting for you to be able to allow you to reach out. think the feedback fundamentals gives you that arena, the place to be able to do that, but with masterfully executed exercises or scenarios and very well developed agendas and exercises and readings and strategies that you can take back home and back to school and apply and implement right away. So it's not something that you can say, oh, when am I? Right away. Oh my God, this is something that I can definitely use right away, and you start becoming a very reflective leader. You start thinking within in terms of why do I do the things that I do, and you find yourself just thinking about your own practice and how you can become better at that. And then you always have a support system of people that are always willing there. I talked to a couple of them still outside of this that have become pretty good friends, and I see many of them outside of through emails and things like this. I know that I can reach out to any of them if I'm dealing with something. So you're gonna have a very strong network of people that are there to support you and help you.
Awesome. Anything about the rounds in particular you want to say, as either a host or a participant that you haven't said already, or just again give me the pitch?
I think that as part of the feedback fundamentals, one of my favorite things to do is the instructional rounds, and you're going to find yourself just signing up for them even when you're not, you just want to go and volunteer and do those things. And the reason for that is because it truly helps you see what other people are doing. It truly helps you think about best practices. It truly helps you look at problem or practice from a different perspective of people's perspectives and with the resources that they have, how they're doing the things that they're doing. It helps you talk to administrators and get ideas on how they are being successful or not successful, and then utilize them and adapt them to your own environment. And if you are hosting, which I highly recommend, it's a great way to start the year or end the year, because then it gives you an idea of what you need to work on next, what plans, and how to plan for whatever it is that you want to do next. Because these are people who come from all over. They really don't have any interest other than help you, truly. Many of them have full-time jobs and they're taking a day off. They actually, I believe that there's a small fee to participate. And imagine people just coming to help you out. How wonderful is that? That's the power of it, of that network of people that want to help out and give you feedback and tell you what they think about the problem or practice you're struggling with.